Is grinding the only way to be productive, or can you achieve your goals without a burnout? That's the type of question I've been asking myself for the past 5-7 years, and I have finally developed some strategies to stay productive without burning out. So without further ado, let's start with idea number 1. Do fewer things. If you want to preserve your sanity, if you want to stay productive without burning out, you will have to cut down on the number of tasks you have on your to-do list. Sure, there is economic pressure to do more, there are layoffs happening pretty much daily, and employees are expected to take on more tasks and to do more, but also a lot of this pressure is self-imposed. Do you really need to answer every single email and every single message on Teams or Slack? Do you need to attend every meeting, even if most of the time you're just listening in? Or when it comes to personal life, do you need to deep clean your apartment every week? Is it really that necessary that you spend an hour at the gym and want 30 minutes to do instead, especially when you're short on time? Slow productivity emphatically rejects the performative rewards of unwavering urgency. There will always be more work to do. You should give your efforts the breathing room and respect required to make them part of a life well lived, not an obstacle to it. Cal Newport suggests a helpful exercise to help you get aligned with the core principles of slow productivity. First of all, you should review how many missions or goals you have and how important they are. Ideally, you want to have no more than 3. Having just one goal to fully focus on is considered the perfect case scenario, but it is also not attainable to many. So having 2 or 3 goals that you switch between on a regular basis is more than okay. So let's say if one of your missions is your 9-to-5 job because you can't really get rid of it, and your second mission is working on a side hustle, then between reading 52 books, running a marathon, and penning a book yourself, you'll have to pick just one. Good news is that not all missions require continuous effort. Many of them have a deadline, in fact, and once you're done with a mission, you can replace it with another one. So once you run a marathon, you don't have to do it again, unless, of course, you're full drawn to. In my case, my first mission would be working on my business, so developing myself as a marketing consultant. Then the second mission is working on this channel, trying to post consistently, and the third one is really just taking care of all the administrative tasks like replying to emails and submitting all the papers and working on the paper stuff, and also building my brand on LinkedIn, so doing all the things that go hand in hand with having your own business. And between these 3, my week is pretty much gone. Apart from these 3, everything else has to take a backseat, really. For example, I try to live a healthy lifestyle, I try to exercise regularly, but there might be weeks or even months when I don't do anything in terms of my physical health because I have to focus on my 3 core missions. Or, and I really like bringing up this example, I do not deep clean my apartment every week. In fact, I only do some basic tidying up on a bi-weekly basis. And there are times when cleaning falls by the wayside because it is not a priority. Especially if I want to achieve my goals while not feeling like I'm sacrificing my life for it. So, the key point here is, if you want to achieve things without burning out, you will have to be ruthless about prioritizing things. Focus on things that matter and don't feel bad about discarding literally everything else. Moving on to the idea number 2. Track your time. Time tracking is a recent addition to my tool stack. However, I can already see its positive impact on my life. We all know that we tend to underestimate the time a task would take. However, before I started tracking my time, I didn't fully grasp how badly. Things I believed would only take me 2 hours to complete turned into 2 hours projects, and the 2-hour projects turned into a full day of work. Funny, isn't it? Quite often, burnout stems from simply overestimating your capacity and saying yes to way too many projects. When you start tracking your time, you become better at understanding how much exactly you can handle at once, which makes you better at planning, and guess what? It also prevents burnout. Additionally, I also found time tracking a more effective alternative to the Pomodoro method. There's still this time pressure that motivates you to stay focused, but without this annoying alarm sound that might disrupt your workflow. Moving on to the next idea. Get to know your productivity type. On this channel, I talk extensively about the importance of knowing your productivity type and its influence on your routine. And in this video, I'm not gonna go into too much detail on the topic. I have created a whole video about my framework and the 4 productivity types, and I will link it right here and in the description box below. Here, I just want to remind you that there are 4 productivity types. It is of course an oversimplification because it's just a tool that's supposed to help you in only one area of your life, so please use it as such. For me, knowing my type was the fastest way to get tangible, lasting results, because I knew what worked for me and what didn't, and instead of following the newest trend or whatever influencers were doing online and then getting frustrated because I didn't see the same results, I was focusing on what worked for my needs and what worked for my energy and focus levels. For example, I identify as a low energy, high focus type, and I really cannot do multitasking. I cannot do 2 or more tasks at once. Neither can I switch between different tasks in a single day. I can focus on 3 in the span of a day, and that stops. That's why when I plan my week, I try to dedicate huge chunks of time to 1 or 2 tasks in a span of a day. And I also try to work on a task from start to finish. Same with energy. There is a limit to how much I can do in a span of 1 time period. And I learned the hard way that if I push past this limit, then it's a sure way to a burnout. Of course, it might feel frustrating at times, especially when you compare yourself to a more energetic, more productive person. But this is exactly why I like this productivity types framework. It reminds me, and I hope it will remind you, that it's not your fault. You just work differently, and every type has their own strengths and their own limitations. Moving on to the idea number 4. Make some time for yourself in the morning. I don't think that everyone needs to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to live a happy, productive life. But I do find having some time for yourself in the morning beneficial, even if it's just 15 minutes. Why? You can be with your thoughts and organize them in a way that doesn't overwhelm you. If there is a lot on your mind, then you can journal about it. You can make lists, write post-it notes, schedule notifications for yourself so that you can get back to action items or keep some important ideas for later. It also helps you catch your breath. Sometimes you might be working hard on a task only to realize a few days later that you must have been working on something entirely different. Spending time by yourself in the morning is your opportunity to check in with yourself, to see if you need to pivot, if you need to prioritize some different things and drop the ones that are no longer essential. And the final idea: avoid Google, Slack, Teams, and all the other messengers. When I got laid off, I realized that I had some weird obsession over checking my email every 5 minutes. In the first few weeks after being made redundant, one of the hardest things for me was to go to my inbox and see nothing there. It drove me crazy. I dare to assume that a lot of knowledge workers will share the sentiment. You simply can't stop checking your inbox, your Slack, your Teams. And the thing is, there is always a new message, a new project waiting for you. And while not all of the messages are made equal, all of them will occupy the same amount of space in your mental storage. And guess what? Carrying too much on your mind is a shortcut to burnout. So I would suggest you limit the time you spend on checking your inbox and messengers. You can dedicate a time slot every day or every week for checking your mailbox, or you can install an ad blocker on your phone, and there are a lot of free solutions on the market. I know it might feel like letting people down in the moment, but most people are truly fine with a few hours of delay. And again, not all messages are equally important. What usually happens in the workplace, people usually reach out to those colleagues who are known to be proactive communicators, not necessarily the subject matter experts. So when they see a delay on your side, they will simply redirect their questions. Maybe they will finally reach out to the person who's actually working on the project and not you. And this is it. These are the 5 strategies that help me stay productive without burning out. I hope you found this video useful. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and as always, I wish you a great day and I will see you next time. Bye bye.